Let's take, for example, this $40 billion bailout for Argentina. That's probably one of the grossest things I've ever seen. And I have no idea who is telling our great president, our America First president, that this is a good idea. Because it's a punch in the gut to all of our American cattle ranchers, and they are furious, and rightfully so. And at the same time, I can't think of another country that's further away from the United States of America than Argentina. It's literally at the bottom of South America in the Southern Hemisphere, and we're all the way up here at the top. I don't know how that's America first.
I don't want to run like the Google Maps search. I'm not sure that it's the farthest away. And also, like, you're making a great point that this isn't America first, but you want to make it geographically? How about ideologically? How about rhetorically? How about whatever? Anyway, okay, so the Argentina thing is grotesque. $40 billion, again, is something like nearly $120 for every single man, woman, and child in America that we're paying for that. So just on this call right now, with the host, and with the TD, and with the producer that we have on there, we're well over $500 that we're sending to Argentina, which is admittedly very strange. And when I saw that she was criticizing that, saying it was the grossest thing she's ever seen, I was like, yes, because this. You cannot say that this is Mike Johnson or this is just Stephen Miller. No, this is Donald Trump. He has been defending this, as we're gonna get to. He's spitting in the face of the cattle ranchers after it, but she found a way. I don't know who's telling our great president this. Why are you treating him like he's Sleepy Joe? Why are you treating him like he's AutoPen? At the end of the day, Marge, is he ever responsible for anything he does? This is not just some advisor. This is his thing he's doing. He did it. He doubled it, he's defending it, he's doubling down on it. How many D's do you need? It's his thing. Criticize him, okay? Or admit that he's just like a piece of furniture in the White House or whatever. And it doesn't really matter that he's there. It's Bessent and it's Lutnick and it's Miller and it's whoever, it's Wiles, I don't know. It's just a collection of advisors, and we can't really hold Grandpa responsible for what he does. Which is it? Is it Sleepy Joe, or are you gonna have him actually be responsible for what he does? Because I agree with you that the bailout is grotesque, but he did it, and he deserves your scorn. And whether he gets your scorn or not, Marjorie Greene, I could guarantee you he's gonna get the scorn of the American people. He's already got the cattle ranchers, as we'll get to. But Viviana, I want your thoughts.
And the soybean farmers. I mean, we're going nonstop over here. But I think you're right on the money, John. That is what I took from it. It was a very telling note that she made. Who's telling him this? They know it's not Sleepy Joe, it's dumb Donnie. He doesn't know what the hell's going on. They have to tell him what he's doing. And she knows that he's not even capable of understanding international relations, let alone trade. So somebody is telling them. So the real question is, why is this being done? Are we laying the framework for a nice comfy cushion for all of the Nazis to move to again? Because that's where they like to go before. I don't know what this, I mean, I just married an Argentinian, John. I don't understand what the loyalty to Argentina is. It's insanity. And it's about time that he coughs up an excuse. Where's his cabinet talking about why this is important? What is this actually doing?
Yeah, I mean, if I were him, I wouldn't want to talk about it that much publicly because I don't think it's going to make the administration look very good. We're going to give you some of the statements he's been making, and I think it bears out my point. I don't think it does. But yeah, no, I agree. I agree. This looks terrible. I mean, look, we know what the actual allegiance is. It's partly ideological. They had their Trump of the South or whatever, who was supposed to come in and fix everything by effing over all of the poor in Argentina. And oopsie doopsie, it didn't actually save the country instantly. And oopsie doopsie, we need to be bailed out by another country. So it's partly that. More importantly, the reason they're bailing it out, though, is to protect donors in America that have massive investments in Argentina that would theoretically lose large amounts of money if the country were to fall. That's all it is. It's more corruption. We are subsidizing billionaire investments in Argentina. We don't have the investments. We can't afford to send money to buy stocks or companies or land or whatever, but they have, and so we are subsidizing the rich. This is a wealth transfer from regular Americans to Scott Bessent and a bunch of venture capital firms and a bunch of people who were sitting around Donald Trump at his inauguration. And Marjorie Greene, if you're paying attention, that should be a part of your criticism of this. It shouldn't just be that like it's way down on the bottom of the globe, which I will grant you it is at the bottom of the globe, but he is paying off his donors because he's corrupt, and those are the only Americans that he actually cares about. Anyway, the ranchers are mad at him, and so we're gonna end by acknowledging what they've been saying. One cattle owner says, is an owner of a 200-year-old family cattle and crops farm in Indiana. Voted for Trump in 2024, by the way. Says, what frustrates me about this whole move is President Trump ran on an America First program. I don't see anything in it that puts America first. It's hypocritical. So he's angry about the America First thing too. He doesn't acknowledge how far away Argentina is, but I still get his point, basically. One representative, a Republican, says, I've heard concerns from constituents. For now, this remains only a suggestion from President Trump. I mean, okay, see if that helps, I guess. Again, look, I'm not saying that like screwing over a bunch of cattle ranchers is gonna turn America against Donald Trump. I would say the fact that he keeps screwing them over in a million different ways is gonna do it. And this is just a great representation. He screws over the coal miners by rolling back the black lung and silica dust regulations and stuff like that. He's screwing over the cattle ranchers. Like, what is he gonna like? Just walk up and down a line of a bunch of Harley riders kicking them in the nuts. Like, I don't know symbolically how he can screw over more Republican campaign commercial extras than he is already, Viviana. But anyway, let's go to one more statement from him. And so he's getting pushback from the cattle ranchers. And this is what Donald Trump decides to post on social media. The cattle ranchers, who I love, don't understand that the only reason they're doing so well for the first time in decades is because I put tariffs on cattle coming into the United States, including a 50% tariff on Brazil. Again, for corrupt reasons and ideological reasons, but whatever. If it weren't for me, they would be doing just as they've done for the past 20 years. Terrible. It would be nice if they would understand that, but they also have to get their prices down because the consumer is a very big factor in my thinking also. So I hear what you're saying, cattle ranchers, but also you'd be failures if it wasn't for me. You owe all of your success to me. Bow down and acknowledge my tariffs are awesome. And also acknowledge that in that message, he's saying, you're doing well because I put tariffs on, which has driven up the price of cattle. So let's also admit that I am screwing over the people trying to buy the beef, by the way. But don't worry, I also care about them. So I'm gonna force you to lower. So which is it? Like, who are you trying to help here? It feels like you're just taking turns screwing people over. And so as I'm sure you're familiar with, we're gonna be buying apparently a bunch of Argentinian beef. We're quadrupling it to 80,000 metric tons. Apparently, which sounds like a lot of cows. What do you think?
It's not going to be just pissing off the cattle farmers. It's when it really hits the American public that they can't have McDonald's, even though a Big Mac is $10 right now. They're really not going to be able to get McDonald's, burgers, whatever they want. They're not going to. It's going to be a very austere diet for like during the Great Depression, meat once a week, because we're not going to be able to afford it. And then that is when the American people are going to start getting fed up. But it's going to take a while, John.
Yeah.
I'm a vegetarian, so I'll last a bit longer.
That is true. I don't know. Coffee prices may be going up. The tariffs affect the vegetables too in some cases.